Okay, let's dive right into this. We're going to explore how to understand people, and not as some kind of cynical tool for judging them, but as a real path to wisdom and honestly just better communication. It's about seeing what's really there.
So let me ask you this right off the bat. Are you truly listening to the full story? Because, people are telling you things all the time, and a lot of it has nothing to do with the words they're actually saying.
And that brings us to a really foundational idea for this whole explainer. This quote just gets right to the heart of it. The body, it tells a more honest story. It's the story that words can sometimes try to cover up. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll talk about why this skill even matters. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, the body's silent signals and listening beyond words. After that, we'll look at how to see someone's true character, and we'll wrap it all up with the power of just paying attention. All right, section 1. Why should you even care about this stuff? It's so important to get this straight from the beginning. The goal here is not to become some kind of suspicious, judgmental person. Not at all. The real aim is self-protection and a deeper understanding of the people around you. Look, the real benefit here is just pure empowerment. When you can accurately read people and situations, you start to navigate your life with so much more clarity and confidence. You're basically protecting your own peace of mind. Okay, so how does this actually work in the real world? Let's kick things off with the body's silent signals. Because so often, what you can see with your own eyes is a much clearer sign of the truth than what you're hearing. So, the first and maybe most basic signal to look for is the difference between someone who's at ease and someone who's tense. A person who's comfortable, they're going to have a relaxed posture, maybe their arms are open. But if you see stiffness, crossed arms, or their body is literally angled away from you, that's a huge signal of discomfort or defensiveness, no matter how nice their words might be. And then there are the eyes. They are incredibly revealing. It's all about balance, right? If someone is completely avoiding eye contact, it might mean they're insecure or maybe even hiding something. On the flip side, someone who stares you down without blinking, well, that can feel pretty aggressive and controlling. What you're really looking for is that calm, natural, easy eye contact. That's the sweet spot that signals confidence. And here's a classic one, but it is so powerful. A genuine smile. The kind scientists call a Duchenne smile. It involves the entire face. You see it in the little crinkles around the eyes. If the smile is only happening in the mouth, chances are it's a performance, not a real emotion. All right, so we've covered the visual stuff. Now, let's kind of tune our ears a little differently. It's time to start listening beyond the words themselves, because the real clues, they're often hidden in the sound. This is a rule to live by. The tone is what carries the real emotion. The words are just the container. If the tone and the words are telling you two different stories, your best bet is always to believe the tone. It's just way more honest.
I mean, just think about how many times you've heard someone say, "I'm fine." If it's said warmly with a relaxed tone, you believe them. But what if it's clipped in sharp, "I'm fine"? You know instantly that things are absolutely not fine. Same exact words, but the meaning is in a completely different universe. And there are other little vocal patterns to pay attention to. Listen for a sudden change in how fast someone is talking. Speeding up or slowing down often means their emotional state just shifted. Notice how they handle silence. People who are secure in themselves don't feel the need to fill every single gap with noise. And watch out for over-explaining. Sometimes a simple answer is the most honest one, while a long, tangled story can be a bit of a red flag. So building on that, let's zoom out a bit. We're going to shift our focus from these temporary, in-the-moment emotional states to something way deeper. The consistent behaviors that show you who a person really is over time. Okay, this is where it gets really telling. Forget what people say about themselves, watch what they do in these 3 moments. First, how do they treat someone who can do absolutely nothing for them, like a waiter or a cashier? This reveals their baseline level of empathy. Second, watch how they react when something doesn't go their way. Do they get angry and blame everyone else, or do they handle it with a bit of grace? This shows you their maturity. And finally, and this one is huge, how do they respond when you tell them no? Their reaction tells you everything you'll ever need to know about how much they respect you and your boundaries. Because, look, at the end of the day, anyone can say the right thing. Promises are easy to make, compliments are cheap, words can be used to paint any picture someone wants you to see. But patterns are where the truth lives. It's not about one single action. It's about their repeated behavior over weeks, months, years. If someone's actions are constantly contradicting their words, you have to believe their actions. That's who they really are.
And all of this, everything we've covered, it all leads to our final and maybe most important section here, the simple power of your own observation. This is about tying it all together and learning to trust what you see and, just as important, what you feel. Now, let's get something straight about intuition. This is not about becoming paranoid or suspicious of everyone around you. It's really just a state of quiet awareness. It's that little feeling you get in your gut when something just doesn't add up. The key is not to ignore that feeling. You don't have to accuse anyone or start a fight. Just observe a little more closely. And this is really the ultimate takeaway. This is the whole point. When you become a better observer of human nature, you stop taking things so personally. You stop being blindsided by predictable behaviors. You learn where to invest your energy. And that, right there, leads to a whole lot less personal suffering. So as you go about your day, I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. After everything we've covered, what's the one silent signal you're going to start paying a little more attention to? What do you think you'll notice first?